Today I listened to a MGTOW man speak on what it means to be a man going his own way and why he chose to go his own way. The man mentioned in his video that he didn't feel it was worth the effort to deal with women. He blamed the feminist who pushed the women's rights movement. He blamed the family court system. Finally he blamed women themselves, saying that they were just plain mean. He told the story of how a married man once told him that most hours of the day spent with his wife was spent listening to her nag him and he only experienced an hour for sex. He said he didn't hate women, but that he was just indifferent to them. He said that he wanted to live free without having to give them money, listen to them nag or even deal with the children. He said that being MGTOW meant opting out of what society expected men to do in reference to marrying women, settling down, giving them his money and basically being a slave to them. I laughed and thought to myself that at last the playing field has become leveled as far as the romantic relationships between men and women are concerned in this country. For years women assumed all the risk and responsibilities in romantic relationships. If the man lost interest in the relationship, the woman was left to raise and support the family alone, sometimes with the help of taxpayer assistance. Now, thanks to the women's rights movement and the family court system, men now have to bear the cost of raising children and caring for them just like women do. There are no more free rides for men. The cost of failed relationships can now ruin their life every bit as much as it can ruin a woman's life. Now both men and women share the same risk in the dating world. Suddenly there is talk of boycotting women and going their own way. When I was younger, I used to wonder what would happen when men finally had to face the same kind of risks in romantic relationships as women do, and now I have my answer. Rather than face the risk, men will opt out. I believe that we as women should do the same. Despite the very effective efforts of feminists worldwide, very few nations treat their women with the same dignity and respect that their male citizens receive. Even in the United States, many women are still oppressed by patriarchy and male privilege. This is especially true in the black community. Black women are some of the most disrespected women on the face of the earth. It is long past time that we took some tips from our feminist white sisters and just simply boycotted black men. Time and again the black male as a collective has refused to provide and protect. The fact is, ladies, if you are married and you have to work to support yourself and still perform all the domestic responsibilities in the house without help, then you are really single. You just have a live-in man for the purpose of sex. Contrary to popular belief, sex is not a need. Food, clothing, shelter, protection, security, and love are needs. Very few black males are in a position to provide these needs for you, and most of the ones who can are unwilling to do so. It doesn't make sense to continue to devote time, energy, emotions, and resources of your womanhood to men who are not interested in providing for or protecting you. In the long run, it is also not healthy to continue to give to relationships that are not productive. I personally opted out of the dating scene years ago, and I've been celibate for 7 years. I do not miss dating at all, and I definitely do not miss being married. Throughout my younger years, I never felt comfortable with the men I chose. They always wanted to change something about me. In frustration, I would become upset and ask them why they chose to date or marry me if I wasn't who they wanted in the first place. For years I blamed myself for failing at romantic relationships until I started to notice a strange trend. So-called good women who were pretty, smart, intelligent, and even virgins were having no better luck with these men than I was. It seemed that whether you were a whore or a virgin, no one could stay married to one of these men for life without tolerating a lifetime of some sort of abuse. They all ended up being the same as me, a single mother, while the men moved on to their next victims. The relationships seemed to last just long enough to waste valuable time and keep them from accomplishing something they really should be working toward. If you let them, black men do a very good job of causing you to lose focus and misplace your priorities. I've even made poor career choices due to trying to accommodate black men. Fortunately, those choices didn't permanently derail me from accomplishing my goals. As I listened to the MGTOW man describe how he would just ignore women and live his life without them, I couldn't help but wonder if all black women should do the same to the black community and the black male collective. Can you imagine what the end results would be? The fashion industry and hair product industry would definitely take a hit. I spend less than $10 on hair products and styles per month. I do not have to buy those so-called pretty clothes which are actually very uncomfortable because I'm not trying to attract men and I always look good enough for me. I do not support the misogynist R&B or rap music culture. I do not support the sports culture either. In fact, I do not even have cable television. I save so much money I am able to live in a nice house, take nice vacations with my son and still work part-time, less than 30 hours per week. Take notes, ladies. When it comes to dealing with black men or any type of men for that matter, if the effort doesn't match the return, you should just take some tips from the MGTOW and go your own way.